For decades, Boeing and Airbus have dominated the skies, shaping the very landscape of global air travel. Their aircraft have become icons of modern aviation, connecting continents and carrying millions of passengers every year. These two giants have set the standard for innovation, safety, and efficiency, leaving little room for challengers. But now, a new challenger has emerged: China's COMAC, with its ambitious C929 wide-body jet. This aircraft represents not just a new model, but a bold statement from China that it's ready to compete on the world stage. The C929 is the result of years of research, development, and collaboration, and it signals a major shift in the balance of power within the aviation industry. The C929 is designed to rival the Boeing 787 and Airbus A350, carrying up to 440 passengers and targeting the most lucrative segment of long-haul travel. With advanced aerodynamics, cutting-edge materials, and a focus on passenger comfort, the C929 aims to match or even surpass its Western competitors in both performance and efficiency. More than just an aircraft, the C929 is a symbol of China's technological rise and a key pillar of its Made in China 2025 strategy. It embodies the nation's drive to become a leader in high-tech manufacturing and to showcase its growing expertise to the world. By building a homegrown widebody, China aims to reduce reliance on Western manufacturers and assert its independence in aerospace. This move is about more than just business. It's about national pride, economic security, and the desire to shape the future of flight on its own terms. The Chinese market is set to become the world's largest, and a successful C929 would ensure much of that growth stays at home. With hundreds of millions of travelers and a rapidly expanding middle class, the demand for modern, efficient airliners has never been higher. With state backing and a guaranteed domestic market, the C929 is already shaking up the industry and forcing Boeing and Airbus to rethink their strategies. International airlines and industry experts are watching closely, as the C929 could open new opportunities and challenges across the globe. The battle for the future of the skies has begun, ushering in a new era of fierce competition. As the C929 prepares for its debut, the world is witnessing the dawn of a new chapter in aviation history, one where the balance of power may shift, and the possibilities for global air travel are redefined. The year 2025 marked a pivotal turning point for the C929, COMAC's ambitious wide-body jet project. At the Paris Air Show, the world's attention was drawn to the unveiling of the latest C929 model, signaling China's growing confidence and presence in the global aviation industry. For years, the C929 existed mostly as a concept, but now COMAC has advanced to detailed design and engineering. The company set an aggressive timeline, aiming for domestic certification by 2032 and targeting the first commercial flight by 2035. This bold schedule demonstrates both determination and a new level of technical maturity. At the Paris Air Show, COMAC made headlines by announcing strategic partnerships with major Western suppliers like Crane Aerospace and Safran. These deals highlight COMAC's ability to collaborate internationally and integrate advanced global technologies, even as geopolitical tensions persist. The number of Chinese aerospace firms at the show has doubled since 2023, a clear sign of the rapidly expanding domestic ecosystem. Chinese companies are no longer just participants, they are becoming key players, showcasing new products and innovations on the world stage. Central to the C929's progress is the ambitious CJ2000 engine project. This next-generation engine, developed domestically, represents a critical step toward full technological independence for China's aviation sector, reducing reliance on foreign suppliers for core components. Through careful planning, rigorous quality checks, and a focus on meeting production milestones, COMAC is methodically reducing risk. Each step forward builds credibility with airlines and investors, moving the company steadily closer to large-scale production and commercial success. The C929 isn't just a flagship aircraft. It represents the tip of a rising tide of Chinese aerospace capability. It stands as a symbol of the country's determination to compete at the highest levels of the global market. With every milestone achieved, COMAC is steadily closing the gap with established Western giants like Boeing and Airbus, challenging their dominance and reshaping the competitive landscape. The message from Paris is unmistakable. China is not just participating, but is now a serious contender in the race to become a global aerospace leader. ready to shape the future of commercial aviation. The C929 is more than a commercial project. It's central to China's quest for technological sovereignty. Decades of dependence on Boeing and Airbus are now seen as a strategic vulnerability, especially amid rising US-China tensions and export restrictions. Every new restriction from Washington only accelerates Beijing's push for a self-sufficient aerospace industry. China is building a complete domestic supply chain, nurturing hundreds of local firms in everything from composites to avionics. The ultimate goal, future Chinese aircraft built entirely with Chinese technology for Chinese airlines. The CJ2000 engine is the most challenging piece, but success would place China among the world's elite aerospace powers. For now, COMAC still works with Western suppliers, but the long-term vision is clear: total independence. The C929 is a test case for national pride, security, and technological liberation. The C929 is Boeing's biggest threat in decades, representing a seismic shift in the global aviation landscape. For years, Boeing and Airbus have enjoyed a comfortable duopoly, but the arrival of the C929 signals a new era of competition, one that could upend the status quo. The C929 is targeting Boeing's most profitable market, China, a country with a rapidly growing middle class and an insatiable demand for air travel. This market is not only massive, but also strategically vital for any aircraft manufacturer hoping to dominate the skies. As of 2025, 10% of Boeing's entire backlog is for Chinese airlines, making China a cornerstone of Boeing's future growth and stability. With hundreds more orders likely tied to China, the stakes for Boeing are enormous. Losing even a fraction of these orders could have a ripple effect across its global operations. With state-owned Chinese carriers expected to favor the C929, Boeing's grip on the Chinese market is under serious threat. These carriers are not just customers, they are instruments of national policy. Boeing faces the real possibility of losing access to a market it once considered secure, forcing it to rethink its global strategy. This isn't just about sales, it's about the end of a comfortable duopoly and the beginning of a new, more unpredictable era in aviation. The rise of a new state-backed competitor like COMAC means the rules of the game are changing and the competition is fiercer than ever. The C929 could trigger a split in the global market, dividing the world's airlines along political and economic lines. Some regions may increasingly align with China, drawn by its growing influence and the promise of competitive aircraft. Others will remain loyal to the West, sticking with Boeing and Airbus for reasons of tradition, technology, and geopolitics. Boeing must now contend with a rival that plays by different rules, backed by the full weight and resources of a superpower determined to succeed. The Chinese government's unwavering support for COMAC gives the C929 a unique advantage, making it a formidable challenger on the world stage. The stakes are high. The C929 could reshape the entire industry, eroding Boeing's dominance and forcing a realignment of global aviation power. The battle is no longer just commercial, it's geopolitical, with the future of the world's skies hanging in the balance. In Boeing's executive suite, the rise of the C929 is a source of deep concern. Publicly, the CEO projects confidence, but behind closed doors, the mood is urgent and analytical. The challenge is asymmetrical. Boeing must answer to shareholders and regulators, while COMAC enjoys state backing and a protected market. The CEO's focus: protect market share, double down on innovation, and leverage Boeing's global support network. Strategic planning intensifies. How to secure existing orders, accelerate new technologies, and reinforce Boeing's value proposition. Diplomacy becomes as important as engineering, with lobbying for fair trade and stronger customer relationships worldwide. The CEO is now a wartime general preparing for the toughest fight in Boeing's history. The competition is existential, and the stakes couldn't be higher. COMAC's rise comes as Boeing faces its own crises. The 737 MAX disaster damaged Boeing's reputation and strained its relationship with regulators, leading to tougher certification and delays, especially for the 777X. Production woes and quality issues consume management's attention, while trade tensions and tariffs add financial uncertainty. Boeing's heavy reliance on China, once a strength, is now a vulnerability as the C929 threatens to lock it out of its biggest growth market. The company is fighting on two fronts, restoring internal excellence and fending off a powerful new rival. Resources are stretched thin, and the pressure is mounting. Boeing's future depends on overcoming both internal and external threats. Despite its progress, COMAC faces a major hurdle: international certification. Without FAA or EASA approval, the C929's market is limited to China and a few allies. The C919's slow path to European certification shows how tough this process will be for the C929. Western airlines won't buy uncertified jets, giving Boeing and Airbus a crucial window to defend their turf. COMAC's strategy: first dominate China, then expand to friendly markets in Asia and beyond. By building a track record in these regions, COMAC hopes to slowly chip away at regulatory barriers. Certification is a massive obstacle, but China is playing the long game. Patience, persistence, and diplomacy will be key to COMAC's global ambitions. The Boeing-COMAC rivalry is a proxy for the US-China struggle for global influence. Aircraft are more than machines, they're symbols of national power and tools of diplomacy. Aviation is becoming a geopolitical chessboard, with countries choosing sides based on alliances and trade. The market could fragment, with some nations favoring Boeing and Airbus, others turning to COMAC. For Boeing, sales campaigns are now entangled with international politics and diplomacy. Supply chains are under pressure as both sides seek to reduce dependence on each other. Secondary suppliers may be forced to pick sides, disrupting the global aerospace network. The result: a more complex, expensive, and fragile industry shaped by great power competition. Boeing's response must be bold and multifaceted. First, it must restore its reputation for engineering excellence and safety, delivering on programs like the 777X. Next, Boeing must out-innovate rivals, investing in next-generation aircraft, sustainable tech, and digital systems to create a clear performance edge. Global partnerships and savvy diplomacy are now as vital as technical prowess. Boeing must reinforce the value of its entire ecosystem, training, maintenance, and support, to keep customers loyal. The era of the Boeing-Airbus duopoly is over. A fierce three-way race has begun. The C929 is a wake-up call, pushing Boeing to rediscover its pioneering spirit. By focusing on quality, innovation, and adaptability, Boeing can still lead the world in flight.